Grief and death is a neighbourhood that we all walk through. Some of us, live there for a long time, and some of us just pass through. I joined the Dying with Dignity Youth Ambassadors quite recently. The reason I joined is my fiancé, Alex Blaine, used the Voluntary Assisted Dying medication on the 5th of January 2021. Alex's story is that he had chick duck Ewing sarcoma. It's a very, very rare type of cancer. He went through 19 rounds of chemo and it didn't work. It's taken me a long time to become functional with my grief again, but Alex cared so much about Dying with Dignity and the Voluntary Assisted Dying program. Everyone should have that end-of-life experience.
She was gorgeous, had a little photo shoot. It sits above the mantelpiece next to her urn, which we've got a few things around her urn and all that. It was at an appointment at the end of 2022 when we went to her nephrologist to speak about her end-of-life options and to get sort of a timeline going. I found an article by the ABC on voluntary assisted dying that day in the waiting room, and I suggested to Mum that we talk about it and that we try and get some more information. And as soon as we mentioned voluntary assisted dying, the nephrologist said, "I'm so happy you brought this up, because now I can speak to you about it." She was diagnosed with end-stage renal failure at the very end of 2019, and so was terminally ill for around 3.5 years prior to her death. And then prior to that, her health was quite on the decline for the short time that I had with her. She developed gastroparesis, she was blind, she had diabetes, she had severe neuropathy. Her health was just constantly on the decline from 2018 onwards toward her death.
My name is Emma Vulin, and I am currently the state member for Pakenham in the Victorian Parliament. I'm 45 years of age and I was diagnosed 12 months ago with motor neuron disease. When I was in year 8, which probably was 1993, I remember getting up in front of the class and doing a persuasive speech on euthanasia at the time. Voluntary assisted dying has always been something that I've been interested in, and probably even more so now that this is potentially a journey that might be something for me. We've seen that there's too many Victorians that were eligible for voluntary assisted dying that were unable to access it because of barriers put in the way. So I think my two favourite amendments that will be made is the removal of the gag law, allowing doctors to tell people every end-of-life choice that they have. And the other one for me personally is for MND sufferers with neurodegenerative illnesses, being able to have one specialist and one doctor rather than two specialists and one doctor. Particularly people that are living in rural Victoria find it much harder to access doctors and neurologists than those that live in the city.
The choice it gave him a spring in his step. Every meeting, every step along the way, the empowerment and choice that provided was inspiring.
I thought how wonderful it was that finally we could catch up with the other states and territories around the laws of voluntary assisted dying.
At her funeral, one of my uncles said in his eulogy for her that illness was her companion, and that's something that really stuck with me. Mum's death was her choice, and I know that if Mum didn't pass away when she did, she wouldn't have made it more than a few more months. The liberation that she had is something that I hold very close to me, and it's something that means more than the world to me.